Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, gorgeous people.
You know what time it is?
Yep. It's On That Note with Twane
And I'm Tiff.
And you know how we do. Every Thursday, 7 p.m., we coming at you.
Coming at you. Coming in hot.
So we coming in hot today. Getting ready for a new topic. Come on.
Come on in. We's here.
Yep.
I know a lot of people's at the Beyonce concert today. It's Bay Day in DFW. But for me, I decided not to go. Not because I dislike Beyonce. I think she's amazing. But I could kind of take it or leave it. So I could go or not go. And this time I chose not to go. Just because I just didn't want to go. It's pretty simple. So I hope everybody that does go has a wonderful time. I'm sure you will. I feel like I kind of already been, because I've seen so many videos of since she's been on tour, and I just kind of feel like I already kind of been there.
Yep. I haven't been before, but I mean, I wouldn't mind going with my wife.
You would go. You would. You could kind of take it or leave it too, I'm sure.
Yep.
But we's here. It's Thursday. If you have not already, please go and follow us on our Facebook page, On That Note with TwaneandTiff. Go like and follow. Share this live.
Yep. TikTok, TwaneandTiff.
YouTube.
Instagram.
All social media. Follow us.
Yep. We should be going live on Instagram here pretty soon as well. But yeah. So for right now, thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you for joining us
every Thursday and giving us this time, this hour of power to.
Did you say hour of power?
Yeah.
Really? You took it there.
To share our thoughts, share your thoughts, share opinions on topics, on the world, anything that we discussing, all opinionated. These are just our opinions.
Right.
These are your opinions. Share, and hey, and send us some topics.
Yeah.
So
continue to send us topics.
Yeah.
So
a few things. I know we were looking at we was kind of trying to research and see what was going on with Jeezy and his fiance, and they're going through their divorce or whatever. His wife. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And him filing for divorce.
Yeah. Well,
trying to see what that was, but hey, I don't know.
I haven't found a lot of information on it. However, I did see something about...
Miss Haley, what's up?
Hello.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining. I did see something about, I think it was kind of like something to do with the expectations that she had that was based off of, I think, kind of her family values, I think. I really didn't get a chance to read and go in depth with it, but I think that was one little piece of it.
Yeah.
That I saw.
And just to let y'all know, hey Bobby, what's up, bro?
Hello.
We're discussing right now. We're just talking about Jeezy and his wife going through their divorce. Just trying to see what was the reason?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of details. Well, yeah, it hadn't been that long. She's been married before. They just had a kid together. And he filed.
Yeah. He
filed for the divorce. I think it was something, like I said, the little bit that I did hear about it, I think it had something to do with her and her expectations and the things that she wanted from him in a marriage from a cultural aspect of it. Now, I don't know how much of that is true or false, but from what I've seen, that was one piece of it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if that is the case, then I'm sure that was a lot for him to deal with because they do have their own values. She's what, Japanese, Chinese, something, Asian, something to do with that. And so I'm sure that they do have certain expectations. But I thought maybe in this situation it could have been a little bit different because she did marry somebody of another race. So, but I don't know. But I did see where she said she wanted to work it out.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. She don't want a divorce. He wants the divorce. Right. So, hello. Thanks everybody for joining.
Yep.
Please go and and follow our On That Note with Twane and Tiff Facebook page. And share this live with your friends and family. Hello, Yolanda. Long time no see. Thanks for joining us. You remember Yolanda, don't you? So, yeah. So that's kind of what's going on with Jeezy and his wife. And, I hate to see anybody go through a divorce, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. If it ain't working, it just ain't working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else? We was talking about something else. We seen it kind of tie into what we were discussing for the topic for today.
Well, I haven't seen it.
I'm trying to think. It was on the show. Oh, The Shy.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of y'all watch The Shy. Do y'all watch The Shy?
Yeah, Uncle Harry.
Do y'all like that movie, The Shy? I mean that series, The Shy.
Most people that have seen it, they,
Yeah.
They kind of watch it.
Say, yeah.
Watch it. So.
Yeah. So the reason I brought that up is because of the topic tonight was on The Shy. Yeah, she is. On the series The Shy, it's a young lady on that show that one of the characters she got raped by this guy, and he wasn't part of their family or nothing like that.
He was just a random
a random guy. He was actually a school, wasn't he part of the school?
I can't remember that far back.
I thought he was part of the school, but it's been so long ago since that episode. But basically, make long story short, she got raped, and the guy ended up getting her pregnant, and so she ended up keeping a baby, and so to this day, like, throughout the series, she has issues, like, she be having, like, mental issues. Basically, she need therapy. She still deals with what she experienced, and she haven't gotten over it. And then she blamed a guy that was, I guess they was liking each other or something at one point, and blamed him because he wasn't there for her when she needed him to be, or to protect her or whatever. So that's why I kind of brung that up, to kind of tie into what we were discussing tonight, to kind of, give you a feel of what we were discussing or what we were talking about. But anyway, the topic for tonight, how do you prevent and or handle molestation within a family? That's the topic.
Ooh.
So.
That's a doozy.
It is. So molestation. Now, you know what? Let me do this. You can go ahead, babe. You can holler at the good people. I'm about to do something.
I'm like, what are you doing? He just kind of went into a whole nother situation. But anyway, yeah. So how do you prevent it? Ooh, that's kind of hard. Because it's kind of like, how do you prevent something that you would not expect to be happening? Like, a lot of times, things like that happen in a home where you're in the home with someone and you trust them. So you don't expect them to, when you in your home is your safe place. That's your safe space. So anybody that's in your home, you don't expect them to want to hurt anybody within those walls.
Right.
So it's kind of like, how do you prevent something like that? Because how do you plan for something that you never even see coming? Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes from people that I know of. Now, I can't personally speak to this because that never happened to me, thank God. I thank God that never was an issue for me. That was not my walk. But from people that I know that have experienced that, it was oftentimes from people that they trusted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how do you prevent things like that? I know in for me, with hearing so many of friends and people that I know of that have went through that, it makes me very, very guarded with my babies.
Right.
To the point where if they not here, they at their granny house. If they ain't at their granny house, they at home. That's as far as I allow them to go.
Yeah.
Outside of that, ain't no sleepovers. Now, we have sleepovers here at our house.
Right.
But I have not been able to just let my guards down to let them to go to someone else's home.
Yeah. So
at least until she gets older. Now, London, we kind of, but not even with her so much. She don't really spend the night anywhere.
No. Yeah. Not that much anyway.
Yeah.
She's older, she's a teen, but we still monitor. Like, we got to meet the parents. We got to say,
for sure,
we got the final say. I ain't really feeling the energy over there. So like that.
That's a lot. That I see nowadays a lot of times where like we check to make sure if they go anywhere, we make sure we talking and communicating with the parents. But a lot of parents don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We've had parents drop their kids off at our house and not even look at me.
Yeah.
They don't know if I'm here or not. So that I don't understand, because I always need to know who in this house if I'm going to let my daughter go somewhere. I need to know who in the house.
For sure.
But they just drop them off outside and they keep going.
So what I was doing while Tiff was talking was I just pulled up the definition, right? It's the definition for molestation is sexual assault or abuse of a person, especially a child.
Hello.
The action.
Thanks for joining.
Let's see. It says engaging in sexual acts with minors, including touching of private parts, exposure of genitalia, taking of pornographic pictures, rape, inducement of sexual acts with the molester or with other children, and various variations of these acts. But I just read that to let you know the definition of molestation. Say, how do you prevent it? Like Tiff was saying, check the parents. Call people if they want to have sleepovers. Call them parents and see what type of energy, what type of environment the kids are in. Mm-hmm. Or just don't let your kid go over there. Don't let your kid go to other people's houses.
That's my answer.
Because it don't matter if they spend a night or they go over there for a few hours. Anything can happen within a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It was a video I think that I saw that was kind of going around where, so there was, you know how you take your kids to the park and just let them play? Mm-hmm. And one of the little girls said she needed to go to the restroom. And her mom could see her go to the restroom from where she was sitting, but she allowed the little girl to go alone. Well, just so happened, another lady, she said she just didn't feel right about it. Mm-hmm. So as the little girl was going into the restroom, she just kind of went in to check and see if anyone was in there. There was a man standing behind the door. Mm. He was dressed as a woman, and he was standing behind the door in the bathroom. And she got the little girl and pulled her out, and he was like real mad and irritated. So just imagine had that woman not been paying attention, and that little girl walked in that bathroom alone, mm-hmm. her life would have changed instantly. It would have never been the same. Yep. Because the door could lock, because it was just a one stall. So there was no in and out. So once she went in, all you had to do was lock the door behind her, and that's it. Mm. She would have came out, with her life completely,
Yep.
So,
and that would have traumatized her for the rest of her life.
Right.
Let me look at some of these questions real quick. Let's see. Let's go back to Harry said, why do our kids tell if we old fashioned when we communicate with their friends' parents? That's because they don't be wanting you to.
They don't want you to, but you have to.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
We don't do sleepovers.
We don't either.
Nope.
Well, they can come sleep over
here.
Well, they
can
come
sleep over here if they want to, but we'll talk to their parents before they even come. Like, we ain't having that.
Right.
Let's see. Too many parents don't want to be parents. Yeah, I agree. It ain't that they don't want to be parents. They just don't put in the work.
They don't have time.
Yeah, they act like they don't
have time. They got
time.
other stuff going on.
Definitely have to communicate with the parents. Most definitely. You don't know what your kid. I remember one time, was it London or it had to be London? She went over one of her friends' houses, and it was like when I say it smelled. The weed smell was strong.
Oh, it was London.
It was London.
Oh.
Man, I was like,
Oh, I think I remember.
I can't even do it. And it ain't that I'm judging people because they smoke weed. It's just that that environment I didn't want my kid in.
Right.
So I was like, nah, you ain't be able to do that. Don't really have to be a sleepover. Right, no. We're definitely living in different times. Can't trust too many people with our babies. Nope. Not at all.
I
don't.
I don't.
I done seen daycare centers on the news from molesting kids. And it don't even have to be sexual. It'd be daycare centers that be breaking kids' legs, hitting them aggressively, all kind of stuff. What's crazy? Denial is real and acting like nothing ever happened. Hold on. You can't ignore ongoing trauma. Yeah, you can't. And you got to listen to these kids, too. Or may have lost her life. She would have been traumatized or may have lost her life. That's true. Yeah. Because, and that's true. Nobody would have been in there. He was just standing in there. So I'm guessing that must be a going thing for him, that he go and kind of, be hanging out at these parks and stuff like that. Yeah. And anyway, he was just standing behind the bathroom door, dressed as a woman, and this little girl goes in. I think they said she was probably 8 or 9, like Skylar's age. She go in to use the restroom, and he's standing there. Who was with her? Did her mother had her at the park, but her mom was sitting down. And you know how, you just see your kids. So I guess she felt like, I can see her from here. Yeah, so I wouldn't have let the little girl, I don't. When Sky got to go to the bathroom and we out somewhere, I'm going in there with her. Mm-hmm. Period. There's no, you going behind no door and I can't see you. Even with me, if Sky, I don't operate like that. If Sky with me, which is our youngest, if she's with me, if they don't have those family bathrooms, then I'll take her. I'll check the men's bathroom first. Then I'll take her in the bathroom with me and put in the stall. Yeah. Of course, I make sure the seats and all that stuff is cleaned off. Pad the seats, because I don't want her touching nothing. And I'll go in there and let her use the bathroom. I'll stand outside the stall once I clean everything up. Let her use it, and then we'll leave out. Yeah. But I'm not finna let her go in no women's bathroom by herself. She ain't going nowhere by herself. I don't care. So I'm like, even though the mother is sitting here and she can see the bathroom from where she's sitting, but you don't know what's behind that door. Yeah. And that day it was a pedophile behind that door, and like they said, she could have lost her life. Her life would have never been the same. Yeah. And instantly, because that door would have been locked. You can't get in. You don't know. And you sitting here thinking, okay, well, what's taking us so long? And yeah. That could have been real bad had not the lady she said she just didn't feel right. I said, that was God. Yeah. That was God. That was all God. So my question for the audience would be, has anyone experienced, and you don't have to, yeah, you may or may not want to share, and that's fine. That's private, and we respect that. If you know anybody that has been in a situation where they have been molested as a child and they're an adult, how do they handle it? How do they cope? Some people never get past that. It even trickles over into relationships. Yeah, that's true. Like for a woman, once she becomes an adult, like if she never handled it, if she never been delivered from it or handled it, right, or it affects you in your relationships, in your marriage. It affects you because you never got a chance to heal from it. You never really dealt with it. And I know for a lot of times I hear people say, especially in African American families, well,
you know, when things like that go on in the family, or it's a family member that has done something to a child, what go on in this house, stay in this house. So they never, ever even, they don't tell nobody, because that's the way we was brought up. We don't talk about what go on in our home to people outside of our house. So a child will keep that bottled up because that's the way they were raised, to not tell anything.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's so many family secrets. And then when you
to,
get older, all this stuff come out because you get mad and people start exposing stuff and exposing family members because I didn't deal with this when I was young as a child. Nobody dealt with this, or nobody heard me. I was told to keep this a secret so no one would know. And now you don't even know how to come out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that that's one of the things as far as in an African American household. I know that's not what we teach our children, but I think that's one of the things that should be broken in families, in black families in particular, because that's how we were all raised. You don't tell nobody what's going on here. You don't do that, you don't do this. And kids get fearful of exposing people. Or you don't want somebody to get in trouble, because these are people that you trust. You don't expect a family member to hurt you, of all people. So
he said, I have seen people ignore the elephant in the room and use scripture to detour from the facts. That's why people are eating them up inside. Yeah, because they don't want to expose their parents, or expose the person that molested them, especially if it's somebody that's always around the family. For one, they fearful. Once they get older and realize what was going on, they fearful to not say nothing because they don't know how that person will react. Right. And they probably scared that people will think that they lying. Right. You know, but
because you do see a lot of that within like single parent homes with the mom dating, and then the boyfriend, you know, he living and, you know, staying there with the kids and this and that, and then he doing something to the little girls, and when they tell the mama, she ignoring it. Right. 9 times out of 10, and this is just speculation because, again, I don't know that walk, so I can't say. But most times, they've dealt with that themselves. Like, they've experienced that themselves. So, it's kind of like some people deal with, but they're not really dealing with it, but they deal with it because it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. I don't have to really deal with it because I don't talk about it. I didn't see it, so I'm not going to deal with it. But I know for me, growing up, my parents didn't let me go and spend the night everywhere. And I used to think they were being mean. Like, I want to go to my friend's house, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And my mom would always say, well, they can come here if y'all want to hang out, but you can't go there. Yeah. And now that I'm grown and I have children of my own, I understand it. And certain things that some of these kids experience, I think about, okay, if I would have been there, my mom knew. There was a reason why she wouldn't let me go and do certain things, because she knew it wasn't right. And so now that I'm grown, I have girls of my own, or it ain't even just girls. I ain't let DJ go everywhere. Right. If he wasn't here at my mom's, at his dad's, or at his Mimi house, he here. He ain't going nowhere else. Now, we used to have little friends come over, but, you know, and that's crazy because you can't even just, it ain't just girls, it's boys too. So.
Yeah. And nowadays, I don't even know if I ain't going to say nowadays, but I've seen the increase in male molestation. You know what I'm saying? Like, little boys getting molested now more than females. Yeah. And that's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's crazy all around for kids, for little boys and little girls. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't even understand that. I can't wrap my mind around that.
Yeah,
I can't. I can't. Okay, what did he say?
He just said in this day and time, sleepovers, hanging out is just not safe.
It's not.
It's not safe.
It's not safe at all. And I don't let mine, like I said, kids are welcome to come here. And they do. Their parents let them come here, and they come, and they, they
Some
have their
parents
little
don't even-
sleepovers and all that. They don't come, and they don't come in the house to check on them or to see who's here. Yeah. None of that. They drop their kids off, and I just be like,
we literally have to go out there.
Like, we have to go outside so they can physically see us, because they don't ask no questions. They take whatever word these kids give them, and they just drop them off. And I'm not built like that. If I'm gonna let my kids go somewhere, you better believe I need to know who stay here on a permanent basis.
Mm-hmm.
Who in this house? I need to come in and see. But I'm just one of those parents where I'm just not comfortable with letting mine go anywhere. So that piece I don't even worry about, because I don't let them sleep over anywhere.
So Kimberly said, yes, we have to protect our kids and have conversations with them about pedophiles. Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Absolutely.
Like, that's something that's a must-have conversation that you must have with your kids to instill in them, hey, if this is happening, or if they look at you or touch you a certain type of way, this is what you need to do.
Calling somebody.
Yeah. This is not right. Stuff like that. So we have to definitely have that conversation.
I talk to Skylar, especially on a regular, because she's the smallest out of all of, our kids. And so I talk to her on a regular basis, and I tell her all the time, you don't let nobody touch you. You don't let nobody see you. You don't let nobody say these words to you. Like, certain things, I talk to her. I'm like, nobody should be looking at you. Nobody should touch you. No, none of that. Like, you have to have those conversations. Yeah. So,
what are some of the things that you guys would prevent, or you guys would do to prevent that from happening? Not just not letting them go over somebody's house, but what would you do to prevent it? We said conversation. Have a conversation with your kid. Meet the parents. What are some of the other things that you would do or say to prevent it? And if that did happen, and you're a parent, how would you handle it? What do you say? Parents are looking for lawsuits. The setups are real. Kids will lie. You got to pray before allowing anyone in your house.
That's true.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's true, too.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Oftentimes, most times when we have kids over, it's about 6 of them. Yeah. It ain't just, our girls and one other girl or what. It's a gang of them. Like, we have a whole house full of kids when they come around. So, you do have to be cautious about who you allowing in your home, because you don't know what people's motives are. Yeah. And some kids, they'll lie, but some of their parents coach them into lying too, especially if they feel like they can get something out of you. So you definitely got to be careful with who you open your home up to. Yeah. For sure.
And adults lie too. Yeah. I'm a victim of that. Well, I'm not a victim, but I was part of a situation where somebody lied on one of my friends and said that he tried to molest her or rape her or something like that. And this is an adult, but they lied. But they out there. Yeah. Let's see. Right here. When my mom first moved to Puerto Rico before meeting my dad, 70s, she told me she was walking down the street and a man pulled over in his car and asked her for directions. As she got closer to the car, he opened his coat and was naked, holding his penis, and asked her to get in his car. What? She ran away, but I will never forget that story. And she used to tell us as a kid, do not approach anybody in their vehicles. And it didn't matter what they were asking. That's always stuck with me. Nowadays, it's easier with social media. You're right. Totally agree.
They was just talking about, we were reading something on Roblox.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where there are certain games, because our kids play Roblox. And there are certain games within that game that there are adults playing. And what they do is they use a series of letters. Those letters are kind of like code for sexual things. So whenever these kids see these codes on this game, they know to go into a chat or a different room or something, and then the person who's sending this information to them basically is telling them what they want to do. So like they're telling them, okay, go in the bathroom and pull your pants down, or like they're coaching them what to do.
Yeah.
And
What's up, babe?
It's you're right. It's on social media, like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we have to monitor absolutely everything that our children are doing. So they can't even go and play a game and be kids and just play an innocent game with friends without pedophiles coaching them into doing things. So like with our kids, they play it, but they're only friends on that game with people that we know.
Yeah.
If they're not people we know, they're not allowed to accept friend requests from them. That's our way of making sure that no one is approaching them in that way.
We got parent guardian
parent protection stuff on. You have to
watch patterns, behaviors, conversations, and habits. Totally. Nowadays, you can't allow your children to go over their friend's house, out of town, etc. Trust is gained, not given.
Right.
Yeah, true.
And so ours don't go.
Yeah.
Again, if they're not at their grandparents' house, they here.
Yeah.
That's it. We had one of Skylar's friends. She been trying to get Skylar to come over for about 2 months now, and I told her mom, we can set up a play date, and I'll wait and sit there with y'all while they play together. But we're not coming to nobody's house. And she definitely not spending the night.
Yeah, no.
We can meet and have a play date. Well, just tell us where we need to meet you and we'll be there. But my baby not going to somebody else's house and closing the door behind. I'm sorry.
My oldest is 21. And she went to, her cousin and some friends went to Houston for her birthday. They got an Airbnb and just hung out in Houston. I was tripping on that.
Yeah,
and she grown. I'm like,
I struggled with that. I struggled real bad.
You at the gas tank.
When you at the gas pump,
bad. You need to be watching behind you. Watch your back. Lock your doors. Whatever. I tell Tiff, when you out, keep that gun on you.
Yeah.
Like,
I keep my gun on me, and if I have to, most times if I'm by myself, which is rare, but most times if I'm by myself and you're not with me, if I have to get out somewhere, I'm on the phone with him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, hey, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. So he knows I'm not in the car, so he can stay on the phone with me. And then I have my gun where I can reach it if I need to. But it's scary because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
People crazy.
And then in the Metroplex, well, I know everywhere, but particularly in the Metroplex, we are one of the largest areas for sex trafficking.
Yep. We up in the top 2, top 3 up there. Let's see, Angel said the hardest thing is being a survivor of incest and feeling like you are sheltered. You are sheltering your child too much.
Yeah. And so how do you do that? Like, especially if you've experienced that on your own, you do shelter your child out of protection.
Right.
You kind of, because you're scared. You don't want nobody to hurt your kids. So especially if you've been through something like that yourself, it has an impact on everybody after you.
Right. But my question would be, how do you handle it? Did you go to counseling? Did you seek any type of help? Did you go to church to be, delivered from it? If you could, what? Like, how did you handle it? Or are you still dealing with it to this day? And if you're dealing with it to this day, should you get help? How long have this been going on? I mean,
what type of effect has it had on your relationships?
Well, I don't know. Some people that deal with it, I would say that they probably wouldn't recognize.
You don't think?
I don't think they will recognize unless somebody point that out to them. I don't think they will recognize it.
She said counseling.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, listen, I have 2 big ass German shepherds that walk with me late at night. and I wish someone would. Because my pew pew is with me too. Yeah,
she said pew pew. I call mine a hot boy. I got my hot boy with me.
Mm-hmm. I know some people who simply keep it bottled up to this day. That's not good. Everyone should get help. Yeah, the people don't. Is because they ashamed. Yeah, I totally agree. Like some people, that's what it is. They ashamed. They don't want to tell nobody about it. They don't want nobody to find out.
Yeah,
you know. But you have to you have to seek help.
Yeah,
just like that movie Antoine Fisher. You know, he was a male, but he was molested by his cousin. They were saying that was her cousin. Yeah, but he was molested, and he dealt with that. And you see the way he was acting out was due to that stuff. Even when he got to the scene where they asked him, "Have you ever had sex? Are you a virgin?" He got petrified. He just got angry, frustrated. Yeah. And it took him back to what happened. He never got over it. And then when he started going to counseling, that kind of helped him. And his line was, I think Denzel told him something in reference to, "Hey, our time is up, this and that." And Antoine Fisher told him, I should never start talking. Something like that. Something along the lines of that, where he never opened up to nobody. And then when he started talking to him about it, it was helping him to release that stuff. So you definitely need to get some help, for sure. And see, I just want to share my experience because people don't know how the signs. Hold on, people don't know the signs and after effects. Man, like you have to.
You don't know.
Anyone that would listen definitely need to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because people need to know. People need to know what are some signs that you didn't pick up until later on in life. You say, "Man, had I known this now, I would have recognized that sign." But what are some of the signs that you did pick up? Like, what are some of the things that either verbally that was said or physically that was done that you can say these are signs that you have to look out for? And then also being experienced, what are the effects of that? Like, what effects do you have, or the person that you know, what effects do they have? Yeah, that's messing with them today.
Yeah, and you all feel free to join us live if you would like to. Just send us a request and we'll add you to the live.
You said talking about it in counseling makes it worse before you are fully healed. Wow.
Ooh. Damn. I bet, because you got to deal with it. You forced to deal with something that you probably attempted to suppress for so long.
Right. I
can't even imagine that. Like that's never been my walk, so I don't know that feeling. I don't want to know it, but I can't imagine like as a child, your innocence being taken away. And as a woman, like, you know what I'm saying? You violated
me. You go through life suppressing that? That's tough.
That's tough. That's tough. And that's and everybody that comes in contact with you gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it because you keeping it bottled up. Oh, she said, oh,
hold on.
Send it now.
All right, so I think if you can't come on, I think we clicked on it.
Okay, there you go.
All right, there you go.
Hi.
What up? What up? Let me see. Hold on.
Thanks for joining.
Okay, just really quick, because y'all asking a lot of questions that I can't type fast enough.
Yeah.
So some of the side effects that come with it. First of all, when it starts so young, and then it's by multiple family members, it becomes a norm. It becomes a norm, and it's not until you get older and then you start, having friends, people that you're in school with have a lot of influence on you, and you're looking at how other people's lives are, and you're like, oh, that's not normal. then you start to see like, oh, that was wrong. And then you start feeling like, I should have known. I should have known, especially when you get in high school and it's been going on for a long time. Like, I should have known. So then you go through that phase of, oh, it's my fault. You know? And then after that, you get into counseling. If you have people that care, I had people that cared. I got into counseling after everything ended up coming out. And then I didn't want to go through counseling because I'm just like, this was my fault. And these are people that's supposed to love me. So surely I could have done something, you know? And then, you know, later on in life, I ended up getting in counseling on my own because I was like, I'm still feeling like this. And then the after effects are you have really poor judgment of the people that you date, the people that you end up being with, or just your life choices like drinking or smoking, or, you know. And I'm a firm believer, like, you don't know people's story. So when you know, people like, oh, they're a crackhead, they've been a crackhead all their life, you don't know what their coping mechanisms are.
Right.
So I'm a firm believer on that. So I never judge people about what they're doing because I don't know their backstory. Anywho, so the after effects are stuff like addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, poor judgment of character as far as your friends that you keep or the relationships that you have. Like, these are after effects of that. Or some people withdraw from having from actually being sexually active. Some people are overly sexually active. Like depression, anxiety, like all of this is like after effects. And then I believe, I'm a Christian, when people say you just got to trust God and it'll eventually go away. That's not true.
Yeah, I can see
That is
that.
not true.
Yeah.
Because what they say, prayer without work is dead.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't do, like, you have to put in the work for yourself. So if you're not putting in the work and you're trusting God and then you're still feeling this way and nothing is happening, that's how people end up committing suicide. Because it's just like, I don't know what other avenues to take, you know? So when it comes to stuff like that, I don't really think that it's a way.
Did you freeze up?
Yeah, it just froze up a little bit. Let's see if it'll come back on.
It should pop back on. Is it on our side or hers?
It might be on her side. Hold on, I'm gonna remove it, and then I'll add it back.
Okay, now try. Oh, you already. She hung up already. Okay, add her back in. Oh, she's not there. Okay, I think we lost her. Let's see if she joins again.
She can join again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that what she was saying was right on point. Like,
yeah. I had some questions, so I need her to get back on because I got a couple of questions to ask her.
But that was right, like what she was saying, even what she was saying in reference to people saying just trust God and you'll forget about it. Yeah, it's more to it than that. There's stuff like that you really gotta be delivered from.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta get some counsel. You gotta talk about it. That just ain't gonna go away. Yeah, I mean, but look for the signs. And somebody that experienced that is someone that could help to tell people, you know, hey, these are signs that I've experienced or I've seen from what I went through.
Right.
And that'll be able to help somebody else.
Right.
Hold on. What she say? Liz say, yes, your surroundings are extremely important. Yeah, we have to recognize when we have our grown, when we have outgrown some of those so-called friendships. Yeah, definitely. I mean, some friendships are just for seasons.
Yeah.
You know, some people in your life come in your life for a reason and they out of there.
Yeah.
But going back to what Angel was saying, like that's pretty deep. Like to know, to go through your life, and then you start to experience that, go through life, suppress it, and then you blame yourself. That's tough.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of kids and some adults. They blame themselves sometimes for their parents not being in their lives. Some kids do that. They be like, my mom didn't want me because I was ugly, because I was this, whatever, or some kids say that and experience that self-sabotage stuff, like, and it wasn't their fault at all, but blame themselves because of what they went through.
I want to know if she had, like, in her dating, if she noticed a pattern, like, did you date the same type of guys, and did they have any type of similarities from the person that, molested her or something? Like, if they had traits or it was something about them that was similar. I just wonder. I'm just wondering that, because sometimes you gravitate to the familiar even though it's wrong. Yeah. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's a familiar thing. Yeah. It's what you've been exposed to, is what you know. Even if it's wrong. So I'm just wondering with the when it came to dating, if she just kind of found herself always dating that same kind of, it was the same kind of person.
Right. No. We'll have to ask her. Hopefully she get back on, but
so, because it just, like I said, you see that if that's all you know,
right?
Like, how do you disconnect from that?
How do you? My question would be, how do you know when you fully healed from it?
Are you ever fully healed from it?
Or are you ever fully healed from it?
I think I think at some point you are, but I think there's still something that you carry. Yeah. Like, even with me, I've never been exposed to anything like that before. Nothing's like that has ever happened to me before. But because I know so many that have, I'm overly protective with my children because of people that are close to me that it has happened to. Right. And it was people that we knew. So because of that, I'm like, when I'm dealing with my child, I'm like, I'm that way. I'm that mama, even though I can't say it ever happened to me, but because of things that I've seen with other people that are close to me, it makes me I'm one of those overly protective moms about my kids.
Yeah, we don't let them, if they not with their grandparents, they ain't.
That's it. That's as far as they going. It has nothing to do with me not trusting somebody else and this and that. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, but I ain't willing to gamble with my kids. Yeah. We go prevent that. So, we go prevent that from even happening. Right, because you're going to be here. Yeah. They're going to be like I was when I was growing up, and I thought my mom and dad was being mean. I'm like, they don't want me to go nowhere. They won't let me go nowhere. I'm grateful. I'm very thankful that they didn't let me go anywhere, because that would have been me. Yeah. My mama let me go everywhere. She didn't care. I was gone. It was bad. She knew wasn't going to happen to you. Oh, her phone went dead. All right, hold on. I'm going to get you back on real quick, because Tiff wanted to ask you a question. Here you go. Let's see. She's back. Okay, I had a question.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish my statement because I'm old. Okay. So, I think the last thing that y'all heard when I said that it can't. I don't think it can be prevented. Let me elaborate on that, because I don't want any misunderstandings. Like, you can't avoid it. The reason why I say that is because, okay, it can be avoided as far as, like I said, I feel like I shelter my son too much, you know? So I feel like I'm avoiding it because I don't let him go places. However, even in the care of those people that I trust, it could be someone visiting someone that I trust, and it happens.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that the people that I trust are not reliable. What I'm saying is that the people that I trust also trust other people. And it does not mean that those people are truly trustworthy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what was the question?
That makes sense.
Because I mean, honestly, it can happen in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you can be with your friends, somebody that you hang out with a lot, and that friend could do it.
Yeah.
That friend's boyfriend or girlfriend could do it.
Yeah.
Like
you
that.
just never know.
And it ain't that nobody ever catch it. Maybe it was they copped the feel real quick.
Right.
But for a pervert, that's all they needed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
It started with me when I was 4.
4?
You know, 4. And it like Antoine said, it was just a feel.
Yeah.
And that's how it becomes a norm, because okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, like it's a thing it's growing.
Right. And you don't even know when you're 4.
No, you don't know when you're 4.
Yeah.
So then the next person comes, and then you're like, oh, no problem.
Right.
You know, like it becomes grooming.
Wow.
So at what point did you realize that was wrong? Hey Tanisha, thanks for joining.
What's up?
Like I said, when I made a statement on the bus one time, I was coming from school, and I don't use the same terms that I used to. I used to say who they were to me, or whatever. Now I say predator because that's exactly who they are. So the predator was behind the bus in his car. And I was so excited to see this person because this was one of my family members. And then after that, I started talking to my friend about what was actually going on. And she was like, but you're excited to see him, and you speak so highly of him. And I'm like, yeah. And she broke it down. She was like, I don't think that you know what's actually going on.
Wow.
Because like I said, it became a norm. This is something that I didn't know that was wrong. Even at this time, I was probably like 14. I still didn't know.
Wow.
So it was just something that it had to grow with me. And if I wouldn't have told her, it probably would have followed me into adulthood, as far as, oh, this is normal. This is something everybody does. Eventually, it probably would have stopped. But at that point, would I have gotten counseling? Would I have told anybody? Because I feel like the older that you get, the more you blame yourself.
Wow. You feel like you should have known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, and then not only that, and I'm speaking for everybody that has been through, whether it was your family member, your close friend, whoever it was. You know, it's always the victim that they shame. Yeah. Because he's a nice guy. You know, he does anything for anybody, or he been around for a long time. Like, why would he do that to you? Like,
yeah.
What? Oh, it's because you was wearing them shorts, or oh, it's because you was fast, or and then that's where you retreat. You're just like, oh, it was me. It was my fault.
Yeah.
And then in our community, the Black community, we don't go to counseling.
Right.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
When I
for sure.
y'all, I am an advocate for counseling. I will send you links. I'm all for it. I'm like, I got a counselor. I don't go to her anymore, but she's awesome. Like, like our work is done, and people don't know that you can go to counseling, and then you might feel better, and you say, okay, I don't want to go anymore. And next year, you might be like, well, I'm feeling a little. It's okay to stop, start back, stop. Same thing that people do with the gym. We get all fine and we stop going, and then we get pounds, and we like, it's the same thing with counseling. It's an ongoing process.
Right on.
And that's why I was asking him right after your call dropped if you're ever actually healed from that.
I would say no. And the reason why is because, like I said, with my son, I never wanted kids, right? And God he was like, ha! You thought you was going to do that. And he gave me one. And I was just like, I never wanted kids because of what happened to me. And I didn't feel like I was going to be able to secure them enough to protect them from what had happened to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I say no, because the after effects that comes with it is stuff like that. You protect your kids. I'm talking about day and night.
Right.
Like, I don't care if somebody's at my house and they go to the bathroom and there's kids in the back room. I'm at that bathroom door. Cause you go to the bathroom and they could be somebody that I trust, right? However, it was somebody that my parents trusted that did it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got one other question for you.
Okay.
So when you got to the point where you were dating, did you see a pattern in your dating? Did the people you date have characteristics of the person or the pedophile?
Okay.
Did they have the characteristics of that person? Similarities? Or was it something about them that kind of...
You want me to be blunt? You want me to be totally honest? Okay. When all of this was going on with me, when I got older, it got to the point, okay, so I got older and my friend told me, that sounds kind of weird. And then after that, it started like, maybe that is weird. So after that, it was still going on. And I started doing stuff to make me feel more in control. So I started taking my own clothes off. I started, like, if I already knew what he was coming for. So when he came around, I already knew what was going to happen. So I started doing stuff to make me more in control. When I started dating, I started looking at everybody just like that. Like, I know what you're here for. So I'm just going to give it to you, and then you can go on about your way. And that really, a lot of people didn't understand it at the time because they were like, why do you do that? Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. And I'm like, yes, it is. At the end of the day, you might try to woo me a little bit, but this is at your core, this is what you want. And it affects the people that are really there for you, because the genuine people, they end up going away because they're just like, like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that they had characteristics of those people, but it was also in my mind, this is what they come here for, because that's what they came here for. So I'm gonna get myself in position. So if you like me, okay, you like me, but I know what you come here for. So I'm going.
It definitely has a mental block. It has it definitely affects you mentally.
It does.
For sure. Which causes you to physically entertain certain things due to what happened.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's
Yeah.
man. That's
Wow.
why I would say counseling is good, because you can kind of start to deal with it, to start releasing that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why even with
Yeah.
you heard a lot of wealthy people when they stressed, they write the stuff down, and that way they get it off their mind, put it on something else, and push it away almost like.
And
So
use it as an outlet.
That's of God that you said that, because in counseling, I don't go to her anymore, but one of the last assignments that she gave me, she said, and she's Black, I'm all for B.O.B. I mean, anybody, but just for me, like Black counselors, or, they know my struggle day to day. She said, take the weight off of you that you can control. And she said, I went in one time and I was like, this person is in prison. I just found out. And she said, write him a letter. Write him a letter. She said, write him a letter and tell him everything that you've ever wanted to say. Because I haven't seen him in years. Well, one of them I haven't seen him in years. She said, write him everything. Write everything that you want to tell him and send it to him. And I did. I looked his name up online, and online you can look up inmate search and you can see what facility that they're at. I wrote him this letter. I rewrote it like 3 times. I wanted to make sure it was perfect. And at the end of it, I said, I'm giving you these demons back because they're no longer mine.
Oh,
wow. That's what's up.
And she said, if he writes you back, you can read it or you can burn it. Or she said, you can tell your family that if he writes me back, I don't want to know. Still to this day, I don't know if he wrote me back, and I don't really care, because that was for me.
Right on. Yeah, you released that.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And it feels so good, because I'm just like, I remember my granny telling me one time, she said, I don't think it was my granny, but this person sat down and talked to my granny and said the reason why he did that to me is because somebody had did it to him. And I call bullshit on that. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I just call bullshit on that. Because me being who I am, you know the pain that comes with that. If you know the after effects that comes with that, it is no way that you will pass that off to somebody else.
Yeah.
No.
Right on.
No way.
Yeah.
For sure.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing. Good. I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm glad that you going through it. You being as healed as can be from that.
Yeah, for sure.
It might be
you on the other side of it.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
I said, if anybody comes to me, I don't know what the future may hold. I think I'm running from God a little bit, because I think he gonna put me up on some stuff that I don't want to do. But if y'all know anybody that just wants to sit and share, it doesn't have to. I'm not really, I'm not like, we could just sit and share and that'll be it. Then I'm here to listen, because so many people don't have anybody to listen to.
Right. Yeah. People don't have an outlet, and so that's why.
For sure.
What you were saying earlier with the suicides and things like that, because there is no outlet. They suffer in silence.
Yeah.
So
because
I'll
Black people,
we'll definitely connect if we get some. We'll connect you to them. So thank you for that.
People send us inboxes and stuff like that, so I'll connect you with them.
Yeah.
If somebody reach out, because it might be somebody on here that want to talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you never know.
Thank you for that.
Hey, greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. See you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm glad that she's on the other side of that. She's not allowing that to consume her.
Right on.
So
it's because a lot of people still dealing with it.
Yeah.
And they pride won't let them go to counseling and stuff like that.
Pride and shame. They don't want to shame anyone. They don't want to be shamed themselves. And, so kudos to her.
Right on.
For taking her power back.
Congrats. Keep going.
So.
Keep being strong.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
So look, man, we greatly appreciate y'all joining.
Thank you.
We went over our time. You know, we usually at 8 o'clock we out of here, but hey, it was necessary tonight.
Necessary.
So I hope that if anyone is dealing with that or have kids and you don't talk to other parents or whatever the case is, that you got something out of tonight's topic, that you will prevent this from happening. Meaning you're gonna reach out to them other kids' parents. You ain't just gonna let nobody drop their kids off at your house.
Yeah.
But you will definitely be more involved in protecting your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whoever else that you can protect or prevent that from happening to them.
Right.
So, but other than that, again, we greatly appreciate y'all joining us.
Thank you.
I always like, follow, and share. Share the link even after we finish.
Yes, please.
Go to our YouTube page, subscribe if you haven't. Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
All things on that note with TwaneandTiff on all social media outlets.
Yep. So again, thank y'all for joining.
Thank you.
Smart, thank you for joining. I know you came in late, but hey, we greatly appreciate you.
Yes.
What up, cuz?
Definitely go back and watch the replay.
Yeah.
It'll be posted on YouTube, and you can always find it on that note with TwaneandTiff page.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, please go and like and follow us on that note with TwaneandTiff.
Most definitely. And send us requests, send us hot topics, suggestions, something that you may want to talk about. Send that to us in inbox or email, whatever. And we will pull it. See what we can do.
We're on it.
So again, hey.
Thanks again for your support. Y'all. We appreciate you.
And on that note, we out of here. Peace.